Canal International. It's time for the news. First things first, though. Here's Gladys Ambondibang with the headlines.
Were expelled from Equatorial Guinea on Monday region this 9 days. That it is not the first time Cameroonian nationals are being expelled from Equatorial Guinea. Starting the dubbed teachers' working conditions, while the strike is being observed in some parts of the country, teachers elsewhere. Complications, the Vatican has said stay tuned for developments in a moment.
Along Cameroon's be expelled men, women engaged in what many describe as disturbing circumstances. Ndi Maureen Nassis Enama report, this is not the first time.
Tortured, detained, she and hundreds of others were subjected to in Equatorial Guinea. They took my phone. I had just my 3-year-old baby. The Cameroonian government should free us from this. If they can also free others still in prison. Just like her, a total of 231 Cameroonians, including April 21, 2025, and arrived in the border town of Kiosi around 5 p.m. Many of them say they were detained for 9 days under harsh and unclear conditions. Among the group are traders, gardeners, technicians, and others who say they were suddenly up children. The returnees are currently some of their confiscated. I'm calling on the Cameroonian government to give value to us Cameroonians because the Guineans don't consider us as Cameroonians, nonetheless as human beings. This is not the first by the Deputy Director of the Equatorial Guinean in the coming days, particularly for Mongamu and other nearby towns.
Elsewhere, disorganized urban criminality appears to be thriving across Cameroon. In fact, as we speak, residents of the Bonamusadi neighborhood in the country's commercial Hamas. Gladys Sambo reports now that at least one of the suspects was killed and another nabbed.
Attack on Bonamusadi, a usually busy and vibrant neighborhood in Douala. According to eyewitnesses, the armed gang first assaulted the store manager before robbing customers, terrifying with some people fleeing the premises while others were forced to hand over valuables. This incident took place at about 10 p.m. on April 19, 2025.
C'était terrible, c'était traumatisant parce que moi, ils ont terrifié la clientèle. Et c'est aussi mauvais parce que pour l'environnement, et c'est pas si un client aura le cœur de venir encore s'asseoir pour consommer. Donc du coup, ça gâte le business de mon business en fait.
Along with other appliances.
Unrelenting, the attackers moved to a nearby food store just meters away. The female vendor attempted to escape, but was reportedly chased down and violently assaulted by 2 of the suspects.
Them from reaching us
Dieu merci, comme l'intérieur aussi, avec les tables et chaises, on a bousculé les tables. Donc ça a fait que, étant de l'autre côté du mur, ils n'ont pas pu accéder là où on était. J'ai pris la chaise pour essayer de bloquer. Entre-temps, il a le poignard à main pour me.
As the attacks continued, the sound of cries and shouts drew the attention of nearby residents. A spontaneous response saw a crowd mobilize and pursue the fleeing assailants. 2 of the suspects were caught. 1 was beaten to death by the angry mob, while the other was handed over to officers surrogated and could help police identify and apprehend the 6 others who remain on the run. While police investigations are ongoing, residents have called for increased security patrols in the area, especially during night hours.
Elsewhere, this Tuesday, April the 22nd, marks the third term, the official start of the third term in the ongoing 2024-2025 academic year. In several public schools, the resumption was far from ordinary as several teachers boycotted classrooms, leaving knowledge-hungry students on their own. The striking teachers are demanding, amongst others, a special has been keeping the tabs, and here she reports.
At the government bilingual high school of Bobongo Petit Paris in the Douala 3 municipality, Students returned on Tuesday to find classrooms without teachers. Instead, many spent the first day of the term unsupervised, a scene mirrored in several other public schools in Cameroon's economic hub, Douala.
Regardez, nous sommes dit.
We have a well-coordinated group forum where colleagues send videos of them at home, others pictures, others with banners, with messages that carries their grievances.
Le 26 avril.
The strike launched by Correct is a protest movement aimed at drawing attention to long-standing grievances within the education sector. If you read our revendications that we tabled at the Prime Minister's office, that was on March 19, 2025, we presented our worries linked to the future of children, the quality of the training, between someone who wants at all costs to review continuous suffering through a failed system. This is what we have heard. However, not all educators are on board. Some choose to defy the strike and return to the classroom, providing at least minimal teaching services. We are conscious of the problems, and we are conscious of the fact that the trade union is pushing through onto the right their exams while waiting for government to take its measures. But for many striking features, the message is clear. If their demands continue to go unheard, the movement will only grow stronger in the days ahead. As the school year enters its final stretch, students and parents alike are holding their breath, hoping that dialogue and learning can resume before it's too late.
Meantime, in Bamenda and other parts of the Northwest region, classes resumed hitch-free, with teachers and students directly going to work. At the Achiala Government Bilingual High School in the regional capital, the stakeholders appear to be fully conscious of the fact that there's a lot to be covered over the next 6 weeks, as you tell us, Sherifa Saleh and Annie Colinsani.
The third term of the 2024-2025 academic year has kicked off in Bamenda and the Northwest region in general this Tuesday, April 22, 2025. At the Government Bilingual High School GBHS at Tiela in Kwen Bamenda, the teaching-learning process kicked off in the early hours of the day. One of the first lessons was philosophy, with
a number of clusters
as the vice principal rushed them up.
Present. So as we move around this morning, we saw that almost all the teachers were present, just a few were not there.
The shortest but most decisive of the three terms is also busy at the primary level, like Year at and Kinder Dream Nibong, though a few kids are yet to part ways with the leisure of Easter festivities.
The turnout is about 95% because for the primary, if I can give an example, we expected about 100 and
break time. Being free time, it is time to play like here at next door government school GS Nibong, scheduled to last 6 weeks. End of term and certificate exams are expected to crown the academic year.
And over in the capital, Yaoundé, Hyacinth Chia visited a couple of educational establishments and says that teachers out there also snub calls for the boycott of classes.
The train for the third term of the academic year has taken off. Here at the Government High School in Waikele, Yaoundé, the business is on by 7 a.m. with students and teachers arriving the campus for the first lessons of the day. The announced school boycotts by teachers' trade unions not respected here.
As from the first cycle, students are continuing with lesson, teachers are in halls doing their work. In the second cycle, you observe that we programmed the sequence examination, which have started since 7:30 this morning as well. So I would, in general, tell you it is effective here. We have 44 classes. Apart from classes where they are writing, they're sitting their exams, all the other classes have teachers going on.
And in this private college at the Mana neighborhood, the atmosphere is serene, the teaching and learning process unfolding smoothly. The teacher strike action, the school authorities say it is a mere rumor.
As for school boycott, I am not aware of that. Because if there should be any boycott, I think it should be some sort of inclusive, like every other person should be there, know the clauses, know the reasons of a boycott. Right to this point, I don't have any idea about why they are boycotting. And as you can see, we've resumed fully. Every teacher is present. We have so many students who are present. We have just a few absent cases, and it's due to ill health. Parents inform us the children are not feeling too well, but the absence, I can say it is 94%.
Talking to the pupils and students this April 22nd, the pedagogue emphasized on the decisive nature of the term, urging them to remain focused, especially those in the final examination classes.
It's just over 30 minutes after 6 p.m. across Cameroon. You're watching the news on Canal International. And on our politics page, regional delegates of the Elections Management Body ELECAM have been meeting in the capital Yaoundé to assess their levels of preparations ahead of this year's presidential election. Hyacinth Chia once again reports that on the sidelines of the deliberations, it is emerging there's been a tremendous increase in the number of registered voters.
Months to the 2025 presidential election, Elections Cameroon is stepping up preparations on the ground at different levels. Meeting with the 10 regional delegates at the second annual session in Yaoundé on April 21st, 2025, the Director General of Elections, Eric Esose, is taking stock of the global situation.
We want to be sure that the electoral list, that the distribution of cards, that the police station and many other aspects of the organization are ready. And I think that as I follow the activities of our institution, I can say that we'll be ready for the election of October 2025.
Despite reigning insecurity in the northwest, southwest and the far north regions, the ELECAM regional heads reveal that there is a massive increase in the voters' registration process.
So far, if you go to the southwest, it's relatively calm compared to what you think. And if you, in the southwest, like areas like Boya, Fako, mobile teams are all over, canopies planted within the main junctions area, market areas. There has been serious mobilization coupled with the sensitization and education done by political parties.
When we compared the voters' registration statistics of 2025 with 2024, we'll see that the Northwest is in good shape because last year, by this same time, the Northwest had registered 12,000 voters, but today we are talking of 15,000 in the Northwest. Our registration teams in red zones are situated in areas where we have the defense and security forces to protect the material and the personnel on the field.
The actors review communication strategies during the electoral period, mechanisms of sensitization and education of electorates, management of disinformation, training of electoral agents, and measures to handle electoral conflicts before, during, and after the elections.
And beyond Cameroon now, the Vatican has announced that the funeral, for Pope Francis will take place this Saturday as preparations begin for the conclave to elect his successor. Earlier today, the first images of the Pope were released showing him lying in a wooden casket. In his final will, Pope Francis expressed the wish to be buried at the St. Mary Major Basilica, which is outside the Vatican and home to his favorite icon of the Virgin Mary. The funeral will be led by a Dean of the College of Cardinals. After the funeral, a 9-day period of official mourning will commence. The conclave to elect a new pope must begin 15 to 20 days following the passing of Pope Francis. And that's how we saw it on tonight's installment of the news. Thanks once again for the privilege of your company. The debrief is up next, but at 1950, Alain Gislain Kanga will have more news for you in French. Stay safe and see you tomorrow.